the government is back. We could all see him. We are living witnesses. I'm testifying. I'm saying what I see. Based on what I see, and based on what I saw, and based on what I'm seeing, His Excellency is in good condition.
I am not going to pass away.
Yes.
As the governor relaxes and tries to recover, the people of the state will expect that issues surrounding his state of health and governance will be sorted out sooner than later.
Well, we'll be going to the management of the Niger Delta Development Commission says there's no going back on the commitment to make living easier for residents of the region. The acting managing director and CEO of the commission, Dr. Christy Atako, gave the reassurance at the commissioning of roads for some communities in River State and the Elele barracks of the Nigerian Army.
Several communities in Ikwere and Obiakpo local government areas are better off with this road infrastructure provided by the Niger Delta Development Commission. Done with the commissioning, accompanied by some directors and staff of the NDDC, the acting managing director, Dr. Mrs. Christy Atako, encouraged the residents of the communities to own the infrastructure so that they will last and serve them well.
It's a long road. And it has opened up this area. It has so much opened up this area that even your land, you have a lot of value for them.
We want you to also support the federal government initiative. The federal government is doing quite a lot, and as you can see, this is the dividend of the democracy. So NDDC is here to do more for you, but you have to also protect what we have given to you.
The Nigerian Army barracks at Elele in River State also benefited from the projects of the NDDC. The commission provided roads, solar-powered street lamps, and a residential block.
Take a look at the shelves.
Dr. Atako, who inspected them before commissioning, told the officers that the NDDC believes the security operatives deserve some level of comfort.
Before now, the men of the Nigerian Army in these barracks would park their cars far away from where they lived. But now I am told that they can drive comfortably to their houses. It is a great thing to happen to us.
The brigade commander, Brigadier General O.I. Ozamere, who was represented by Lieutenant Colonel Mukhtar Adamu, thanked the commission for the gesture.
On this note, may I, on behalf of officers and soldiers of Elele Barracks, express our profound gratitude to NDDC.
The NDDC recently donated 100 Prado Jeeps to the Nigerian police, provided an accommodation for the Nigerian Army barracks in Bori Camp in Port Harcourt, and a building under construction for the provision of accommodation for the Nigeria police in River State. The Nigeria Air Force is not left out, as they too are beneficiary of the mother-child hospital under construction in partnership with the River State government.
When we come back on News Track, we'll take a look at business news, closing figures from the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
And Nigeria draws Ethiopia in the final playoffs for the 2014 FIFA World Cup. In sports news.
Please stay with us.
Every day you invite us to your home. Now we invite you to our homepage. Join Channels TV on social media. Hang out with us on Google Plus/Channels Television. Follow us on Twitter.com/Channels TV_NG. Friend us on Facebook.com/Channels Forum. And don't forget to like our page. That's not all. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. YouTube.com/Channels Web to get constant video updates on news and events in Nigeria and around the world. ChannelsTV.com. The news at your fingertips.
After being closed for almost 2 months following a pipeline leak, Royal Dutch Shell has now reopened its 150,000 barrels per day Trans-Niger pipeline here in Nigeria. The company, however, adds that the force majeure announced in April on Bonny Light crude oil remains in place, despite the major pipeline reopening on September the 8th.
In the meantime, Nigeria's crude oil exports fell by 11% to 2.7 trillion naira in the second quarter of the year, after a 26% drop in the first quarter. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics attributes the decline to oil theft, as more than 400,000 barrels of oil is stolen every day. Continuous sell pressure pulled the all-share index down below 36,000 points. The key benchmark index shared weight further dipping by 0.65% to 35,861 points. The market capitalization also dropped to 11.41 trillion naira. Investors stripped 10% each of University Press PLC and Wapik Insurance. They also gave the cold shoulder to IHS. On the flip side, Jaws International Breweries, Air Service and Thomas Wyatt were among the day's percentage appreciators, but with gains under 10% each. The most actively traded equities include Diamond Bank, Transnational Corporation of Nigeria and Axis Bank. When stocks crossed the finish line, volume came in higher at 196.5 million units, valued at 2.08 billion naira and exchanged in over 4,000 deals. Over 156.5 billion naira worth of treasury bills are maturing this week. Data from the Financial Markets Dealers Association and the Central Bank of Nigeria shows that 102.9 billion naira worth of the 164-day tenor will mature at the OMO window. The instrument has a yield rate of 12% on the PMA platform. 20.27 billion naira worth of the 91-day bills will be sold at a yield rate of 11.5%, while 33.2 billion naira of the 182-day paper will be sold at a yield rate of 10.65%.
On the foreign scene, it seems that there's no longer any need for further speculation, as a UN report has confirmed that there is convincing evidence that sarin gas was used in a rocket attack in the Syrian capital Damascus. The environmental, chemical and medical samples that has been collected provide clear and convincing evidence that surface-to-surface rockets containing the nerve agent sarin were used. U.S. allegations that the government was responsible led to the threats of military action and then a U.S.-Russia deal for Syria to make safe its chemical arms.
World powers are now trying to hammer out a UN Security Council resolution. Earlier on, UN investigators said that they were probing 14 alleged chemical attacks in Syria since September the 11th.
Now, the unrest in the Philippines is still on as government forces have begun firing rockets from helicopters in an attempt to dislodge Muslim rebels who have been holding parts of the city of Zamboanga for the past week. The insurgents say they want to establish an independent Muslim state on the southern island of Mindanao. Zamboanga has been brought to a standstill by the week-long siege. The rebels are from the Moro National Liberation Front, one of a number of splinter groups fighting for independence from Manila. Analysts say the group's leader, Nur Miswari, is angry because his faction has been sidelined in government peace talks. The government is no longer talking about negotiating with the rebels and now wants to end the battle quickly and decisively.
Welcome. Just before we do go to sports news, let's take you through some story just coming in now. Former Delta State Governor James Bori may be spending time in British jail, but more information is coming out about where he has some of his assets. A British prosecutor, Sasha Was, told a London court that Mr. Bori hid some of his assets in a Nigerian oil firm. O&O and money passed from the company's accounts to Mr. Ibori's Swiss accounts.
That's quite a revealing story there, but that revelation is actually coming following a 3-week confiscation hearing which began today at London's Southwark Crown Court. Now, during the hearing, prosecutors will present evidence of Mr. Ibori's assets and then seek court orders to have them seized. Now, defense lawyers will, however, have the chance to dispute the prosecution case. Now, Mr. Ibori was jailed for 13 years in Britain after pleading guilty in February of 2012.